Tonight, gunfire rattles a Kitchener neighborhood.
And like I say, I hope they figure out who it was and what happened.
The suspect police are now looking for after shots were fired at a home. Allowed to return. Why a Wellesley Township man who killed his infant son could soon be permitted to live back in the community. Also, fed up with scrap metal theft.
We've had businesses tell us that they're experiencing like over $100,000 in damages.
Brantford's new call for a province-wide crackdown on costly crimes. Good evening. We begin in a quiet South Kitchener neighborhood that was rattled by gunfire. Police say shots were fired at a home on Dune Village Road just before 3 this morning, and it's left those who live in the area shaken. Let's go to CTV's Alexandra Hollick now, who's just back from the Dune South neighborhood with all the latest. Alexandra, you spoke with residents in that area. What did they have to tell you?
Well, Tony, many I spoke to on and off camera say they couldn't believe something like this could happen there, and they're hopeful investigators will find out what happened and who's responsible.
Security footage shared by Waterloo Regional Police shows someone coming up to a Kitchener home early Thursday morning. They fire 4 gunshots before running off.
At approximately 3 a.m., we responded to reports of shots fired at a residence on Dune Village Road in Kitchener.
Police releasing these images of the suspect, described as a male with a thin build, between 5'7" and 10 inches tall, wearing light-colored clothing, a mask, and dark-colored shoes. He left in a getaway car shortly after the shooting.
So at this point, we can say that the residence was targeted. The nature of the relationship between the suspects and anyone in the residence is unknown at this time.
It's Waterloo Region's 4th shooting incident this year. No one was injured, but those who live nearby say it's still a scary situation.
I was really surprised. This is a really quiet neighborhood. It's you don't get a lot of traffic. You don't get a lot of incidents on the street. So it was definitely really surprising to hear that it was especially a shooting.
Sonia Swanson has lived in the area for nearly a decade.
It's certainly unsettling that something's happened so close to where you live.
Police reassuring residents their safety is not at risk, while reminding them to stay alert.
We do want to encourage everyone to remain vigilant. If you do spot anything suspicious in your neighborhood, whether that be vehicle or individuals, to contact us so that we can respond and investigate.
Police are also asking anyone with security or doorbell footage of the area from around 3 o'clock this morning to come forward or contact Crime Stoppers. Tony.
Alexandra, thank you. CTV's Alexandra Hollick with the latest on that Kitchener shooting investigation. A Wellesley Township man who killed his infant son nearly 5 years ago could soon be allowed to return to live in his Mennonite community. Isaac Martin was found not criminally responsible and has since been undergoing treatment for bipolar disorder. A recent review determined he is now stable. And not only is his community ready to welcome back, they also expect him to live with his wife, who witnessed part of the fatal attack on her child. CTV's Krista Simpson has details.
September will mark 5 years since police were called to a home on Powell Road in Wellesley Township, where they arrested Isaac Martin for the death of his 1-year-old son. The child had been struck multiple times by an axe, an attack that was witnessed in part by Martin's wife, the little boy's mother. In 2024, Martin was found not criminally responsible for his son's killing on account of mental disorder. He claimed he had been told by God to murder his son and later said he regretted what happened and didn't know what came over him. Martin is now detained at Southwest Centre for Forensic Mental Health Care in St. Thomas, where he undergoes evaluation and has yearly hearings on next steps in the efforts to reintegrate into society. At his last hearing in April, the board heard Martin is diagnosed with bipolar disorder with psychotic features, and it was determined by the panel that Martin still represents a significant threat to the safety of the public. But the panel has also heard Martin is stable, has been compliant with his medications, and has gone through counseling and therapy. It is believed he'll be able to return to live in his Mennonite community sometime over the next year. His Mennonite community has accepted him Everything appears to be moving in the right direction, reads the Ontario Review Board decision, going on to say reintegration with his Mennonite community is key for both management of risk and Mr. Martin's long-term stability, emphasizing that he will still need psychiatric supports to manage his risk factors. Exactly where Martin will live should he return has yet to be determined, either with his father, who is currently an approved person, or his wife, who is in the process of being approved. The decision says the community expects Martin to return to live with his wife, but notes the treatment team is mindful of respecting the culture of Mr. Martin's community while managing the potential risk, both physical and psychological, to Mr. Martin's wife. It is important that if Mr. Martin is to return to living with his wife, it is with her clear consent. It is also important that the members of the community clearly understand the risk factors and when to reach out to the treatment team. Decisions on Martin's future living in the community will be made after he has some longer visits there. Krista Simpson, CTV News.
A 38-year-old Southern Ontario cold case is getting new attention tonight. The OPP have released a documentary about the disappearance and presumed murder of Lois Hanna. Hanna was last seen leaving a dance in Lucknow back in July 1988. Despite DNA at the scene, no one has been charged in her disappearance, and Hanna hasn't been seen or heard from in nearly 40 years. The OPP say some new witness accounts place a suspicious car outside Hanna's Kincardine home on the night of her disappearance. Police say they still have a detective working the case, interviewing as many as 40 people over the last several years that may have knowledge of the case. All right, time for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon, live in studio with our first look. I would say that today checked off all the boxes for me. I'm quite okay with this slightly cool feel in the air. It was very nice to have that sun again.
It didn't feel cold out there today.
No.
There wasn't as much wind, Tony, and with that sun out there, it was very comfortable, despite temperatures not necessarily being exactly where everyone wants them to be this time of year. But the good news is we are expecting another sunny day tomorrow, almost a rinse and repeat for your Friday. And as we take a closer look at our satellite radar, we're not getting a lot of activity yet in Kitchener-Waterloo, but it is on the way. So get out and enjoy that sunshine when we can, because things are going to change in the next 24 to 48 hours. As we take a look at what's happening right now, it's 16 degrees out there, about a 5-kilometer-an-hour wind, so hardly any wind at all. And looking across southern Ontario, not too bad. Temperatures pretty much in the mid to mid-teens range, and a little lower than they should be this time of year, but overall not too bad. But as I said, Tony, get out and enjoy that sun. I have some news on when the rain's going to arrive a little later in the show.
Yep, the sun doesn't last forever. Thanks, Ash. Appreciate that. A fire that destroyed a camper trailer in Kitchener yesterday is now the focus of an arson investigation. Flames ripped through the vehicle, which was parked near Madison Avenue South in Kitchener. Waterloo Regional Police say the camper was abandoned and no one was inside at the time. Investigators are looking for tips in the case. Scrap metal theft has become a growing problem in southern Ontario, and now Brantford is calling on the province to step in with an Ontario-wide crackdown, saying local efforts to prevent the costly crimes just haven't been enough. CTV's Colton Weems has more.
We've had businesses tell us that they're experiencing like over $100,000 in damages, whether it's damage to equipment or security costs afterwards, or multiple thefts, being unable to get insurance afterwards. Those create some issues.
The Chamber of Commerce of Brantford Brant says they're hearing it all the time, and something needs to be done about scrap metal thefts.
This is any kind of business. This is your small shopkeepers to actually, HVAC dealers and HVAC installers.
After nearly $1 million in property damage and theft over 2 years, Brantford passed a bylaw in 2024, making it illegal to bring certain items like sewer grates and shopping carts to a salvage yard, restricting certain materials and requiring traceable transactions instead of cash.
Brantford Police did notice that there was a slight decrease in the amount of thefts, but then after about 8 months, it started back up again. but we weren't finding the material here in our scrap metal dealers here in town.
Officials say it's not just from HVAC systems, but even things like plaques from the Mohawk Chapel, the Brant County Museum, and Lorne Bridge. The city says Ontario needs a provincial framework similar to Alberta's Scrap Metal Dealers Act, which doesn't allow certain items to be brought to scrap yards, forces buyers to record transaction information, and doesn't allow cash deals.
It's not telling the police every day who's trading something if you walk in, but if they link it to a theft that's occurred, then they have a lead that they can start on.
A spokesperson for Ontario's Ministry of the Solicitor General says this falls under federal jurisdiction and the criminal code, telling CTV News in part the selling of stolen goods and damage to property are the purview of the federal government, adding the ministry has confidence in police services to investigate these crimes and take appropriate enforcement action. But Prang says the chamber still feels the Ontario government can play a role. Now, the Chamber of Commerce says it's now an advocacy piece for the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, who will bring that forward to the Ontario government.
This policy will stay on the books for the Ontario Chamber for 3 years, and it could happen at any point in time where this type of topic comes in front of a minister or part of the government.
Hoping that a renewed push can cut into the crimes. Colton Ween, CTV News, Brantford.
Canada's military is chronically short on gear, so much so that it's now asking personnel in the Ottawa region to return some of it. Items like tactical vests are being handed in by members who are not part of deployable units. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver now with more on what else is in short supply.
Thousands of troops in the Ottawa area are being asked to hand in some of their field gear to help compensate for what the Defense Department is calling critical equipment shortages.
It doesn't send a very positive message, even though it might be normal. It just indicates just how weak the procurement system is, how low the stockpiles are, and just how much demand there is on operations right now.
About 10,000 troops received an email last week requesting they return rucksacks, patrol packs, tactical vests, and fragmentation vests. The Defense Department says the equipment will be reissued to deployable units. Personnel in non-deployable units do not require this equipment for their day-to-day duties. This, in conjunction with several other initiatives, will also help address potential shortfalls of items, particularly of highly demanded sizes.
It's a reflection of the mindset we've lived through several generations at National Defense, which is without enough to go around, you get by with as much as you can get away with.
Ottawa has promised to scale up military recruitment and add tens of billions to the defense budget. But experts say changing that scarcity mindset and modernizing procurement policies will take time.
Those quite literally growing pains of an organization that for decades has not been used to grow and has policies in place that are, as we can see, not well adapted in terms of scale, scope, and complexity to the ask that the government has of the Canadian Armed Forces.
The department says these kinds of requests are issued periodically and that the gear could go to Latvia to new recruits or be used for training. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, gardens gone. Why the region of Waterloo says it had to remove several community garden boxes from a public housing complex, and the frustration that residents are expressing over that.
FIFA fans are heading to Toronto this summer, and Waterloo region wants them to stay a while. The push to capitalize on local tourism as soccer's biggest show sets up close to home. More on the efforts after the break.
Although we're not expecting any frost tonight, temperatures still taking a dip. When can we expect a warm up? Those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
People in a Kitchener neighborhood say they want their gardens back. They're frustrated that the region of Waterloo has just removed several community garden boxes from a housing complex on Paulander Drive, a project that the region had greenlit only a couple of years ago. CTV's Karis Mapp reports.
Residents who live at this regional housing complex on Paulander Drive are feeling the loss of their community garden boxes.
I just think it's ridiculous. I don't think it should be banned for us to garden.
On Wednesday evening, continuing into Thursday morning, Region of Waterloo representatives started dismantling the majority of the boxes.
Last year, they just gave us a notice saying, oh, we're going to remove these beds. We did not know what the problem was. They didn't tell us or anything.
CTV News contacted the region for an interview, but instead, a statement was provided saying in part, due to infrastructure issues affecting the property, the gardens on the parking garage can no longer remain in their current location. Recognizing community concerns, the region has paused the removal work to review next steps. The boxes were originally installed in 2023 as a collaborative effort between the region and Waterloo Regional Police to try and boost community morale.
There was a lot of crime in the area, and the community had a meeting with the Waterloo Regional Police, and they decided that they would like to do some more gardening.
With 52 units in the two-story complex, the boxes allowed everyone to sprout a personal garden.
Planting some vegetables with my kids so they learn how to plant.
It's helping us so much for the vegetable, saving money.
Different people, ethnicities in this area need specific foods that they can't buy, or that they can't afford or they can't find. So these boxes enabled them to grow the food that they wanted.
Flourishing food while growing community.
We have some neighbors that maybe never had anything else to speak about, and suddenly now we're all collaborating together over these same things.
Other reasons for the removals were provided to the residents living on the ground floor.
They said these ones are taken away because they're too heavy, they're causing leaks. Those ones are being taken away because they're causing trouble to be, to trim around it for the weeds, for the groundskeepers. Other ones are being taken away because the tenant moved out. There's just been an ongoing evolution of excuses and reasons why to take them away.
The community now hopeful they won't fully lose the crops or connection. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
When the FIFA World Cup brings big crowds to Toronto in 3 weeks, Waterloo Region is hoping to score some visitors of its own. Local leaders say the region's mix of urban attractions, rural escapes, and soccer culture could make it an appealing stop for tourists beyond the GTA. CTV's Spencer Turcotte's been looking into the local tourism impact and joins us now live with more. Spencer.
Well, Tony, it seems local officials are trying to sell visitors on making the short trip from Toronto. Not only does it make financial sense, there's plenty for fans to explore in Waterloo Region. The world's biggest soccer tournament will be partially played in Toronto this summer, but Waterloo Region is hoping some of that excitement spills west down Highway 401.
Waterloo Region is located about an hour from BMO Field, so we're really not far from the action.
Fans can take in the World Cup atmosphere in Waterloo Region with public watch parties, festivals, and soccer-themed events planned throughout the tournament.
Kitchener is a huge soccer town, probably only second to hockey.
In downtown Kitchener, the market will transform into Soccer Central, complete with a massive viewing screen.
It'll be the largest free event throughout the World Cup for people in Waterloo Region to come and watch their favorite teams, cheer them on.
Kitchener is also hosting one of the National Canada Celebrate stops on July 11th at City Hall, which will include a variety of activities. Meanwhile, in Cambridge, the Gaslight District is preparing for match viewings on one of the country's largest outdoor screens. But even as excitement builds, tourism leaders in Toronto say hotel bookings aren't filling up as quickly as originally thought.
I think people are taking their time to make their decisions about whether they're going to come and watch the games in Toronto.
Sarah Angel adds that fans are weighing travel costs and deciding which host cities to visit. And for people considering Toronto, Waterloo Region tourism groups are pitching accommodations in the Tri-Cities because they could be more economical and a short GO train ride or bus away.
Us being that close, convenient, affordable option is a really good strength for us.
And if you want to trade the excitement for some downtime,
go to St. Jacobs for an afternoon.
So as the world watches the action in Toronto and beyond, Waterloo Region is hoping FIFA fever turns into a big win for local businesses and tourism. The Toronto Argos will also be spending more time outside the city this summer as FIFA takes over BMO Field. The team's headquarters will move to the University of Guelph, so you may see some athletes doubling as tourists in southwestern Ontario. Tony.
Sir, thank you. CTV's Spencer Turcotte reporting. The OHL champion Kitchener Rangers are back on the ice in Kelowna, BC tomorrow night, going head-to-head with the country's best for the ultimate prize in junior hockey, the Memorial Cup. CTV's Heather Centerin has details on when and where to tune in.
The week started with a party fit for OHL champions. A hometown send-off for the Kitchener Rangers as they head out west. They already got their hands on the J. Ross Robertson Cup, but now their eyes are set on the top prize in junior hockey, the Memorial Cup. The Rangers will kick off the start of the Memorial Cup Friday, taking on the hosts, the Kelowna Rockets. The puck drops at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Fans can watch live on TSN. It's a round-robin schedule, so the Rangers will play again Monday against the Everett Silvertips and Tuesday against Chicoutimi. Those games are also at 9 p.m. The semifinal and final will air on May 29th and 31st at 7 p.m.
And the first time since 2008.
The Rangers punched their ticket to the Memorial Cup by sweeping the Barrie Colts, ending an 18-year wait for a return to the championship stage. It's been an incredible ride so far, and fans are buckled in to see just how far the boys in blue can go. Heather Centerin, CTV News Kitchener.
And we have a live look right now at downtown Kitchener, the Google building. Do we have a little cloud? Yeah, we do have a little cloud out there tonight, it looks like. We had a very, very nice sunny couple of days, which was beautiful, wasn't it? But those temperatures, little bit cooler than some people would like at this point in May. Well, Ashley's back in a couple of minutes to tell us that we're going to have to get through a bit of another hurdle before we get better weather later this weekend. And also coming up, Slamdemonium 2. Our Jeff Pickle jumps into the ring with some wrestlers to preview a show with a good cause. Next, though, luggage alert, a W5 investigation into targeted crimes at Canada's biggest airport. And Ashley's here with our forecast. We are now into the third week of May, I think, if my math is correct. But we're still dealing with chilly conditions. We were talking during the break. Yesterday, I had the AC on in the car on the way in. Maybe that was Tuesday. At any rate, the same night, whatever day that I had the AC on, I had the heated seats on the way home.
I know. I can't make a decision. I don't know if my brain or my heart is telling me one way or the other. But
it's a lot of back and forth.
There is so much back and forth, and it's hard because I don't know to keep my furnace on, keep my air conditioner on, or just turn the whole thing off and go with the flow.
We are just tiptoeing around whatever Mother Nature wants to do this week, and we've got another curveball later in the week as well.
Yes, so we've got to get through a few more cooler days, Tony, but next week is shaping up to be back on track. Let's take another look from outside this hour from our tower cam, and you can see it's a little bit hazy out there. We're starting to get a bit of overcast, but overall conditions not too bad. It was a really beautiful sunny day, which we talked about earlier, and the good news is we're in for almost a repeat tomorrow. So temperatures remaining cooler, but that sun is expected to shine through all of Friday. We are getting, this is the overcast that we're getting right now. Now that's going to continue to sort of linger, but push out through the overnight hours into Friday. And then check that out. Nothing on the radar whatsoever to start your Friday. Now, by Friday night, we'll start to get a little bit more overcast, and then through the overnight hours into Saturday, that's when we're going to start to see some rain. So this weekend is going to be a wet one, so keep those umbrellas handy. But right now across the country, things are looking relatively sunny. It's 17 in Victoria, 17 as well in Calgary, with the sun trying to peek through there. In the Prairie provinces, it's about 19 degrees for Saskatoon and Thompson at this hour, so much warmer there today than it was yesterday. And as we move further east, the sun is shining in Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City as well, so lots of sunshine, which is great news. On the East Coast, temperatures not too bad, a little cooler there, 6 in Corner Brook, 9 in St. John's. Here locally, we are looking at 15 degrees right now, sitting around that mid-teen range for most of southern Ontario, which is just slightly below where we should be this time of year. Now, overnight tonight, we're expecting a low of 3. We aren't under any frost advisories, but it is still quite cool. So Maybe if you're overly cautious like myself, cover up any plants just in case, but we aren't expecting any frost. Partly cloudy conditions and easterly wind at 20 kilometers an hour. Now tomorrow, like I said, pretty much the same as what we saw today. We're expecting a daytime high of 15 degrees, mainly sunny conditions, and a very high UV index of 8. So once again, if you're spending time outdoors, a hat and sunscreen always handy. Just as a reminder, normal for this time of year is 20 degrees for a daytime high and 8 as an overnight low. So we are just sitting below that, not close to the records though. Back in 1977, setting a record at 32 degrees. We are nowhere near that warm, but of course we're going to get there. Take a look at our 7-day forecast starting in Waterloo region. Cooler, wet conditions for the weekend, 11 on Saturday, 19 on Sunday. But by Monday, temperatures start to rise, 21 the expected daytime high, and then by Tuesday, back into the swing of spring, 23 and sunny conditions. Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions to be expected there, but even warmer come Monday. 19 for your Friday, Saturday, 23 on Sunday, 25 by Monday. Not too bad. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, mainly sunny for your Friday and 15. Return of rain for the weekend and 11 on Saturday, 14 for Sunday, with a slight chance for showers also on Monday, a high of 18 and 21 and sunshine for Tuesday. So we've just got to get through the weekend and then things are starting to turn around. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Helen, who snapped this beautiful picture at Victoria Park in Kitchener over the long weekend. Stunning. This looks like a postcard.
It was actually amazing, not only over the long weekend, Ash, but just in the last week and a half to 2, how much greener things suddenly got, how much the trees in our neighborhoods both suddenly started to fill in and just give us a very different look to that landscape.
Absolutely. So, despite the cold, the blooms are doing their thing.
And do you know why it's going to be nice next week? Because we're all back to work.
Naturally. That makes sense. That's
my theory anyway. I don't know if there's any science behind that.
That's a pretty good theory.
Thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
Organized crime groups are targeting people with access to luggage at Canada's largest airport. W5's Avery Haynes has more now in this exclusive investigation.
When you go to the airport, you know the drill. Body scans, x-rays, and searches of your carry-on. But whistleblowers warn security needs to be tightened for the employees who have access to your bags and airplanes.
I've been just stopped once in 20 years leaving, so if somebody gets a hold of something, they're gone with it.
Charles is a ramp worker at Pearson. He has a joke you might not find funny.
We say, yeah, you can walk out carrying a cruise missile, nobody even stop you.
Through court documents and police sources, we've identified a United Nations of organized crime groups operating at Pearson, using some airport workers to move drugs off planes and onto Toronto streets. Dieter Boheim is a retired police inspector who was also part of Toronto's airport intelligence unit.
People that work at the airport, there is corruption involved in getting the cocaine into Canadian borders.
The Canadian Air Transport Security Authority, CATSA, says screening employees leaving work is not part of their mandate, that screening happens at entry points. But we've identified issues there as well. We've documented at least 16 cases in the past year where corrupt employees have been able to get bags of drugs into secure areas at Pearson and then swap bag tags from innocent passengers.
What I don't understand is how they get it in.
Yan and Charlene in Winnipeg were detained at Pearson when a bag with 33 kilos of marijuana was discovered with Yan's tag attached to it.
These suitcases were huge. How would, like, a baggage handler get suitcases into the back? Because don't they go through security?
Yan was eventually released after showing this home surveillance video to prove the bag he checked looked nothing like the bag filled with drugs. Retired RCMP investigator Ulysses Botello worked for a unit called SIBS, the Security Intelligence Background Section. It was his job to weed out corrupt airport workers. How big of a problem do you think corruption is at Canadian airports?
It's huge. And if we're unable to dampen that component that is facilitating organized crime, we're in big trouble.
In the last year, 6 ramp and baggage workers at Pearson have been arrested on bag tag switching charges. Avery Haynes, CTV News, Toronto.
And coming up later tonight on CTV National News, more on what W5 has uncovered about Canada's largest gold heist at Pearson Airport. That's on CTV National News tonight at 11. Still ahead, what happened to Nathan Wise? It's a mystery that's been haunting a family and a community for 3 years. And it's our focus tonight on Unsolved 519. Hannah Schmidt will have the story coming up next.
A Day is back on 105.3 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff KP and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000 every weekday. 5K a day. Virgin Radio.
Drivers will likely want to hold off on filling up their gas tanks until tomorrow. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTeague is predicting gas prices will fall by 9 cents a litre overnight. Now, that would bring prices down to roughly $1.82 at most stations across southern Ontario. Meanwhile, McTeague is also forecasting a 9-cent drop in the price of diesel tomorrow after it rose by roughly 4 cents today. With summer only weeks away, young people will be applying for summer jobs. It's a challenge for many to find the right fit. And a new report from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business says there's a disconnect at every stage of the hiring process. CTV's Natalie Van Roy has more.
Training protocols, it really depends on the position here.
At this small business in Ottawa, there's a lot of demand to get a job.
I probably have 500 resumes on my desk at any given time.
When Cody Nickel is hiring people starting out in the hospitality business, he says there can be challenges.
I think that there's just a need to temper expectations a little bit. I think sometimes with the younger generation, there can be an expectation to kind of move up in the world a little bit faster than might be realistic.
A new report from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business finds there's disconnect at every stage of the hiring process, from where to search for jobs to the skills needed and the expectations.
That youth come in with perhaps unrealistic salary expectations. And we've also heard from small businesses that what they prioritize most is soft skills. So people skills, motivation, coming in and taking initiative.
During challenging economic times, business owners say the expectations can be higher than the current situation.
It's a little tight financially with the labor cost. For people with no experience, we do pay them minimum wage right now. I guess a lot of people have expectations that it should be $20 or $21 or $22 an hour.
While Alina Khan already has a part-time job, she's searching for a second one to make ends meet.
1 week, you will have enough hours to pay your rent and everything, but the second week, you won't have any hours. So it will be really problematic for us.
Khan says she feels she needs a reference to get in the door.
You have to have a reference or any employee working there to just push you.
And that's another finding from the CFIB.
Businesses rely a lot more on personal connections. So 62% rely on personal connections to recruit.
If you are looking for a job this summer, managers offer these tips.
The most important thing is reliability and attitude. If they can show up on time and they can come in with a great attitude and be willing to work hard and to learn every single day.
My priority is when I see the employee's personality is willing to learn, they're willing to work hard.
That report from CTV's Natalie Van Roy. It's been 3 years since a man with Down syndrome who has strong ties to Waterloo Region vanished from the streets of Toronto. The family of Nathan Wise say the pain of not knowing what happened has never gone away. They're making another plea for answers, hoping to finally bring him home. CTV's Hannah Schmidt has more on the case in this edition of Unsolved 519.
We have his orange sweater waiting for him.
Nathan Wise's family say the uncertainty surrounding his disappearance has become unbearable.
We just want some answers so we could bring him home.
Nathan Wise, a 37-year-old man with Down syndrome, disappeared on May 12, 2023. He was last seen near Jane Street and Shepherd Avenue West in Toronto. People close to him believe he was making his way to Waterloo Region. Since then, there's been no confirmed sightings of Nathan.
The investigation is going well. We do hear from Toronto Police. They still keep us in the loop.
The Kitchener native had been living in Toronto with his sister at the time. In the days after his disappearance, police launched a Level 3 search, one of the most extensive and resource-intensive types of investigations.
Nathan has Down syndrome, and his cognitive functioning is diminished. He functions at a 7-year-old level. This is extremely concerning for the Toronto Police Service and his family.
Searches were also conducted around areas he would frequently visit near Waterloo Region. Despite the effort, there was no evidence that led to Nathan.
Just reach out to us. You're not in trouble. We love you. We want you home. Reach out to anybody that you feel safe. Police, fire, ambulance, anybody along that line.
The investigation by Toronto Police continues. In a statement, officials say officers are continuing to search for Nathan as the family continues to communicate with police and are appreciative to the public for the hundreds of tips they've received to date. Nathan's family is also working with Please Bring Me Home Canada, an organization that helps find missing people.
We have an extremely active investigation team member, and they are both communicating regularly on appropriate next steps, potential interviews, and possible theories as to what could have happened with Nathan.
The organization continues to review tips and potential sightings, including unconfirmed reports in the GTA and surrounding areas.
The date that he was reported last seen and the dates where people stopped hearing from him are two starkly different dates. So to really try to narrow down that date, I think is going to help us.
And for Nathan's family, the message remains unchanged.
He just disappears without a trace. So there's something there. Somebody knows something. It's still hanging there, as you saw when you came in. His sweater's still hanging there. And it's just a hope that he can come and get it.
A family holding on to hope that Nathan one day will come home. For Jason and Allison, every tip, every memory, and every lead still matters. Anyone with any information, no matter how small, is asked to contact Toronto Police or Crime Stoppers. Tony.
Hannah, thank you. CTV's Hannah Schmidt reporting. The end of the line for a late-night staple. A final sign-off for a program that's been on the air for 33 years. That's next.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, tonight marks the end of an era as Late Show host Stephen Colbert delivers his final sign-off, and the program comes to an end after a 33-year run. CBS said it is being pulled for financial reasons, but not everyone is buying that. CTV's John Venevali-Rao reports.
After tonight, we have only one more show left.
In the lead up to the finale, all sorts of A-listers dropping by to say goodbye to a show that never shied away from politically charged humor. And among them, Colbert's former colleague, Jon Stewart.
Stephen, get ready for the ride of your life.
With Talking Heads frontman David Byrne, perhaps summing up the feelings towards the network that pulled the plug.
It's The Late Show with David Letterman.
Making its debut on CBS 33 years ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a promo. This is the actual show.
Stephen Colbert took the helm in 2015.
We are up here for the wanton destruction of CBS property.
David Letterman recently joining him.
This is yours.
This is my desk chair.
To mark the show's controversial demise, announced after Colbert mocked a $16 million settlement between CBS parent company Paramount and U.S. President Donald Trump, calling it a big fat bribe. CBS insists the show's cancellation was a purely financial decision, but the timing left many unconvinced.
He took
politics and made it part of the everyday conversation in a way that was satirical. He was trying to get people to think.
Recently joining Colbert on set, his fellow late-night hosts.
Is there anything that we have not touched on before we move on to this? I'm curious.
The outrage that your show is being thrown off the air?
Yeah. Some worry others will suffer the same fate.
You know, Seth Meyers is trying to introduce himself as next, you know, so these guys see it coming.
Anybody here from Canada?
Colbert often made Canada part of the conversation. From lampooning Trump's tariffs.
Why tax our maple sap?
To interviewing Canadian politicians and celebrities, even belting out a classic maritime folk song.
But I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers.
And now for Colbert, it's one last show and a late-night landscape that may never be the same. John Venevalley-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, more news coming up after a quick break, but first let's check in with Ash once again.
Well, sunglasses and sunscreen will be needed tomorrow morning. Details on just how sunny and warm it'll be after this break. Next Level Chef will start your night off at 7, followed by back-to-back Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Then Fear Factor House of Fear at 9 and cap your night off with The Traitors at 10.
Tonight, a highly anticipated primetime address in Alberta.
Really tired of Quebec and every other country getting our money.
The deep divide to stay or separate, plus what the Conservatives are campaigning for. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
5K a day is back on 105.3 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff KP and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000 every weekday. 5K a day. Virgin Radio.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, Ash is back with a look at our wake-up weather, which is going to be nice to wake up to tomorrow anyway.
I was going to say, get out and enjoy it.
Because like, what kind of inflection do I throw in my voice here to get you ready for what's coming? Because
well, the weekend's going to be a little wet. We know that rain is coming. Saturday in particular looks like it's going to be the brunt of this wet weather. No storms on the radar at this stage. It just looks like it's going to be a consistent spring rain, which is to be expected this time of year. Unfortunately, though, Tony, cooler weather.
We'll do the whole the gardens need it.
Yeah,
right?
Yes. It'll be a good day to spend time at the garden center rather than in your garden.
In the garden.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
Stuff.
Do
All
your
right.
planning. Let's take a look at our wake-up weather board. Give you an idea. It's not going to be a bad start tomorrow morning. 8 by 6 a.m., 11 by 10 a.m., and mainly sunny conditions is expected through most of your Friday. So get out and enjoy it while you can, if you're a sun person like me.
Yes, absolutely. A great day to enjoy it. Okay, well, if wrestling entertainment is your thing, it turns out the biggest local wrestling promotion in Waterloo Region in a generation is on the way this weekend.
It's called Slamdemonium 2 at the Odd. And as CTV's Jeff Pickle found out, there's a good cause behind what is sure to be a strong show.
There are a lot of hard bumps and some small crowds and even smaller paychecks on the independent wrestling circuit.
We've wrestled in front of the smallest crowd I've wrestled in front of is 6 people, probably most of them not paid.
But this weekend, the off-the-ropes wrestlers will be in front of nearly 1,000 fans at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium for Slamdemonium 2.
Going from working at Oktoberfest in front of a couple people who just walk around drinking beer and having a good time to a bunch of wrestling fans who want to support charity.
For the local wrestlers, it's a lifelong passion playing out in front of a crowd.
I started wrestling when I was 18, I think. I'm way older than that now, so I've been in the Ontario independent scene for about 20 years.
It's a special kind of feeling, and as many people say, you're kind of crazy if you do wrestling, and it's that like unique niche aspect of it that makes everyone fall in love. It's the weird kid, it's the drama kids, it's all the athletic kids as well. Like, it's got so much encapsulated into one thing, and that's the part I love.
The local wrestlers will be joined by some big names from south of the border, like Rhino and Victoria Crawford.
Okay, well, great. We'll do a little in-ring interview. Sydney, Wild Wild West, what does it mean for you to be part of Slamdemonium 2?
It means everything. To get that opportunity to wrestle someone like Victoria Crawford and really get to prove myself means the entire world.
Awesome. Okay, let's come down here to Jay Carter. Jay, what does it mean to you to be part of Slamdemonium 2?
It's great, you know. It's a big experience, a lot of fun.
This weekend is also about giving back to the community. The event has raised $10,000 for Kids Ability. Saturday's event is nearly sold out, but some tickets may still be available. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
Now, I got to tell you, Pickle walked in here last night after that happened, and he's got a little bit of a bruise there. He's a rugby player. Pickle played rugby.
I don't think our viewers might realize that Jeff is a big guy.
He's a big
guy. So, I mean, for that looked like that hurt.
He withstood it very well, and I will make it clear that he willingly participated in that.
Yes, this was all fun.
Jeff loves getting involved in stories like that, and we love seeing it, but that should be good. Slamdemonium 2. At the Odd this weekend.
And for Kids Ability, so great cause there
Exactly,
too. Yeah.
great cause behind it. Gives me flashbacks to the WWF days when we were kids.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You know, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and all of those wrestlers.
I was trying to think during the commercial break who my brother used to like, and I think it was Austin. Was there in Austin or something? I'm not sure. Maybe The Rock, I don't know. Don't come at me, I'm sorry, I'll learn my wrestlers.
It's all a blur. It's the 80s and 90s.
The Undertaker, that was one of them.
The Undertaker, yes. We will be back here tonight with you at 11:30. Have a good one. Take care.